Well, good morning again. It's good to be with you all this morning. I know we are all sending out our love to Molly and in hopes for speedy healing for her. I'm holding also in my heart others right now who are struggling or are sick. There's a lot of need in our community, and we're all holding so much. So just sending that out. My sermon today is titled, "We Make, We Mend." And it starts off with something I'm a little embarrassed to say. I arrived to my first day of seminary a firm atheist. That sounds like the setup for a joke, doesn't it? Well, we UUs have a wide range of belief and non-belief about God. In my early 20s, I stopped believing in the concept of a sentient God who bothered with humans at all. I believed in science and reason. I still do. I believed that we can be good without God and that how we treat each other here and now is more important than some imagined hereafter. I still do. Now, this caused no small trouble in my extended family. I was raised Southern Missionary Baptist. I have been proselytized to by multiple family members. They were taking bets to see who was going to bring me back to the fold. I remember my Aunt Kathy, may she rest in peace, found out about my heathen tendencies, and she said to me with this just look of deep sorrow on her face, "Oh, Monica, I'm going to miss you in heaven." But nothing they did or said would sway me. Now, Unitarian Universalists, we have plenty of atheists among us, we have plenty of theists among us, and we have people somewhere in the middle. Hands raised if you would call yourself somewhere in the middle. Lots of us, right? So, it wasn't until my first day of classes in my Unitarian Universalist seminary that the solid ground of my atheism began to crumble. With a twinkle in his eye that day, my theology professor asked us to consider, what if the important question isn't whether God does or does not factually exist? Perhaps absolute belief in God and absolute non-belief in God, perhaps between those two, there is mystery. There is spiritual play. There is wonder. Yes, I'm getting fingers in the back. Spiritual play. He suggested that day that there were a lot of what-if questions about what if instead of this, the divine were this. All of these questions had my little atheist brain spinning until he finally got to one that stopped me in my tracks. He said, what if instead of creator, God is creativity itself? That one sentence rearranged my spiritual landscape. What if God is not a being, but a becoming? What if God is not the creator, but creativity itself, that pulsing, life-giving, generative energy that moves through all things and all beings? That energy that we can access at any time that each and every one of us is part and parcel of. Incidentally, I called my dad after class that day and said, well, I've been in seminary for one whole day now, and I guess I sort of believe in God now. Gordon D. Kaufman, who the reading was from, he's the late theologian and Harvard professor, and he wrote what we shared in that reading, and I'm going to speak some of it again. In the beginning was creativity, and the creativity was with God, and the creativity was God. All things came into being through the mystery of creativity. Apart from creativity, nothing would have come into being. Now, if even after hearing that, you're still uncomfortable with God, with the word God, raise your hand. Some of us? Okay. It's an interesting thing how we perceive what that is, right? This is a concept of God that welcomes science and evolution and ecology and the vastness of the universe. Indeed, these are some of the most powerful forces of creativity that we can imagine. This is a concept of God that welcomes in every single religion that does exist and has ever existed, because what are religions but creative expressions of how humanity understands its relationship to the all? And this is a concept of God that welcomes us individually into a direct and deeply felt connection, one that we can access at any time. Maybe, after all, this is what my Southern Missionary Baptist Church meant when they talked about having a personal relationship with God. When we create, when we bring something new into the world, whether it's a poem or a pie or a protest or a prayer, we are participating in that divine energy. Every time we create, every time we bring something new to the world, every time we allow imagination to flow through our hands and our hearts, we are interfacing directly with God. We are God. We are joining the symphony of the creative all. And make no mistake, in 2025, acts of creativity are absolutely a kind of resistance. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this trend, but when times get hard, the art gets good. We are standing, my friends, in the shadow of rising fascism, cruelty, and violence. Many of us feel powerless. We shake our heads at the news, we doom scroll on our phones, and it can feel sometimes like there's nothing we can do. The problems are so big, so overwhelming, and in times like these, the temptation is just to retreat, to shut down, to numb out, to binge watch shows and hide under the covers, hoping it will all go away. I'll be honest, I have to resist this urge every single day. But the truth is, we are not served by retreating. Now, I would argue that this church, that this community, is a place where we are practicing the art of creativity in a communal way. We are creating little acts of resistance with everything that goes on here. Have you looked at the calendar of what's happening at this church lately? That, my friends, is the divine. That is creativity coming out through all of us. What if the antidote to despair is creation? What if our greatest weapon is being our creative selves to the fullest? Be weird, be you, as fully as you can. Now, today, we're having a little bit of a quicker service if we can, because we're trying to all get to the Pride Parade. And as I was thinking about Pride, yesterday I went to the Pride Fest because I left my t-shirt that says "This Queer Minister Loves You" on it. I left it at home, so I needed a new shirt to wear today. So I went to the Pride Fest, and as I was walking around, looking at the queer community, looking at the art, and when I say art, I mean the people and the actual art, and I was thinking, this is creativity. If we need to find the divine, we need to look no further than the queer community, who has been its creative, divine, full self for many, many years now. And what if this kind of creativity, this kind of fully living into yourself, is what the world needs more than anything? What if what we need right now is just to make Make quilts, make poems, make songs, make sermons, make organizations, make love, make gardens, make meals, make repairs, make new ways of being together. When we make, we mend. What is it that you love so much that when you do it, it just sets you to rights? What centers you and silences the proverbial sirens going off in your head? For me, it's creative writing. And I'll be honest, I've been putting it on the back burner lately. It feels too frivolous somehow for our current world. How can I spend time writing silly stories or love poems when the world is on fire, literally and metaphorically? But that kind of thinking is the siren. We have to listen for the symphony. There's a line in a song from the musical Rent, and yes, much of my theology comes from musicals. And this line says, "The opposite of war isn't peace, it's creation." When we let the creative force of the universe flow through us, we stitch together small tears in the fabric of our world. One note of music, one line of a poem, one lovingly made piece of furniture, one grassroots gathering. These may not topple empires overnight, but they are acts of holy resistance. They are communion with the divine. When we create, we are saying, "I will not be reduced to despair." Will you say that with me? I will not be reduced to despair. The sirens in my head do not control me. Instead, I will create, I will mend what is waiting to be born in you. Because this, I believe, is how we will find our way forward. This is how we will fight, and how we will fight joyfully. By God. Not only through protest and policy and politics, and those matter deeply, and spoiler alert, they are also acts of creation, but also through simply creating and making. Through allowing creativity, aka God, to flow through us and into the world. And in so doing, we remember that despair does not get the final word. So today, I am probably best described as a demi-theist. I'm kind of an atheist, and I'm kind of a theist. Mostly, I'm just happy to have a way of understanding the concept of God that doesn't want me to change all the words in the old hymns. In Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic, she says that only when we are at our most playful can divinity get serious with us. I invite you, my friends, to allow yourself to play, to create, to dance with the divine. Remember, when the times get hard, the art gets good. The sirens they want us to pay attention to don't get to drown out our divinity. Life, love, creativity, that is the divine force that has been with us from the very beginning, that is us, that is the symphony that is available to us at any moment, inviting us to join in and to sing along. So may it be, so may we become. Amen.